Well, hello again, everybody. Week 4 of the high school football season, and I'm not even going to start with the game that I covered tonight. I'm going to start with Guerin Catholic and Brebeuf. Just saw that final score and some stats from that game. 69-62, Brebeuf wins. Uh, and you look at it; it's 131 combined points. Brebeuf 857 yards. Guerin had 771. C.J. Harris from Brebeuf, 29 carries, 402 yards, 5 touchdowns in that game. And look at this, Guerin Catholic's Malcolm House for the quarterback for Guerin, 39 for 54, 626 yards and 8 touchdowns. Also had 3 interceptions. Hayden Clare, the receiver, 26 catches for 397 and 6 touchdowns for Guerin Catholic. Maverick Geske, a very pedestrian, 19 for 33, 361 and 4 touchdowns. So, and he was picked off 3 times. Taylor Clark, 10 catches, 199. Average per play, yards per play, Brebeuf 11.9, Guerin 8.9. So just going through the Tad Williams had sent the box score and some of the stats here. So wanted to start there. I mean, what a crazy game. A couple of ranked opponents there. Brebeuf ranked in Class 4A, Guerin Catholic in 3A, and has, as Tad said there, a game that only could have been played on Friday the 13th. I guess apparently he mentioned in here Guerin never closer than 14 the entire game until the fourth quarter. They picked off Geske in the end zone, went 80 yards in 6 plays, got within 7. Brebeuf recovered an onside kick and ran out the clock. So 69-62, Brebeuf beats Guerin Catholic. I saw that was a wild. I think Brebeuf was up 42-21 early in the second quarter. So you knew some strange things were happening there in that one. But and then certainly that's going to be your wild score of the night. That tops even the Fishers HSC game. Another really good game tonight. HSC goes down for the first time this season. Fishers had I've covered that game the last couple of years. Had been right on the doorstep and weren't able to get 2 years ago they kind of botched the extra point snap, lost by 1. Last year ended up going for 2 at the start of overtime and didn't get it. HSC then they were able to score and win that game in overtime. So it was back-to-back overtime losses for Fishers. They come back and win it this year, 37-35, beat their rival HSC. Of course, those teams, very likely could play again in the sectional. So you never know how that could work out. But really good game tonight. Looked like another great crowd out at I guess it was at HSC tonight. So. Great win for Fishers. I did not expect that. I thought, having seen Fishers, I thought their offensive line looked a little bit smaller, and I kind of wondered how they'd be able to handle Hamilton Southeastern up front. It was 27-7 at halftime. Fishers led in that game. HSC came back and got it down to 34-28 at one point, and then Fishers hit a field goal with about 7.5 minutes left to take a 9-point lead. And HSC comes back, gets it down to 37-35 shortly after that. So it was about 6 minutes left in that game, and then Fisher's able to close it out there. And in that game, Gage Sturgill 12 for 17, 197 in that game. John Anthony Hall had 105 receiving yards in that game for Fishers, and Carter Reed had a big game, had an 81-yard touchdown run for HSC, but HSC goes down to defeat for the first time this season. So, like I said, really good win for Fishers, obviously, in the Mudsock game. That's one they were really hoping to get, and, I think a little change of, changing that rivalry a little bit to get that W. So, also Center Grove won tonight. That game was 42 to 19 over Ben Davis on the west side, and that's the 250th win for Center Grove coach Eric Moore. And I know Center Grove jumped on top in that game. It was 28-13 at halftime. and Center Grove goes on and wins that game. Drake McClurg again started that game. Actually, it was Brevin Holobar had a kick return for a touchdown, 79 yards. Gabe McWilliams had two touchdown passes, one to McClurg and one to Tristan Baxter early in that game. And then late in the game, McClurg had a couple of touchdown runs. So that game probably a little bit of a bigger spread than anticipated. 42-19, Center Grove wins that one over Ben Davis. And I'll talk about my game now. I had Warren Central and Lawrence Central. Warren wins, beats LC tonight, 35-0. The only real drama, as the game's going along, it's in the fourth quarter. LC's got still had their starters in towards the end of the game. The clock was running. The 35-point clock had been enacted, and 35-0 Warren. The game was over essentially, but Lawrence Central got down to the 12-yard line as the clock's running at the end of the game. And I'll have more about this, this game obviously online, but in the newspaper. But Warren's first team defense was kind of like, "Hey, coach, let us back in. We want," because Warren has not given up a point yet this season. I guess I should mention that they're coming into this game, had 3 consecutive shutouts, and we're really looking to keep that tonight, and did a great job as far as that goes, and we're trying to close it out at the end of the game. And Mike Kirshner said, that's not that big a deal to me to have this scoreless streak going. It speaks highly to the offense, or to the defensive Warren, obviously. But he said, hey, we're just going to play it out no matter what happens. We may give up a score here or whatever. The clock runs out before LC could get off that last play from the 12-yard line, and they're able to keep the shutout intact. The shutout streak, I should say, is at 4 games now. For 6 quarters. Really amazing. Warren's been able to do that. I thought the offense played a lot better tonight. They were able to get 2 touchdowns on the board in the first 2 possessions, and I thought Jaden Rivers, the quarterback, put some passes on the money. He hit Chaz Corley for the first touchdown pass, a nice pass into the back corner of the end zone, and Warren just kind of rolled from there. Good running game tonight. Kendall Garnett kind of handled most of that at running back, but they got some other guys involved as well, including Jalen McMoore. Keith Jackson Jr. should mention, the quarterback last year was injured in the Ben Davis game, and he came back. He's changed positions this year. He's playing some safety, playing punt returner, and also coming in on some Wildcat stuff. And they got him a touchdown pass to Damian Shanklin in the second half, kind of a jump pass over the top. And Shanklin, who also was named the homecoming king tonight, catches that, about a 4-yard touchdown pass, I believe. And it was just really, LC just could not get anything going on offense. They had a little bit of a running game. They had a lot of drops tonight. It just seemed like just a ton of drops. Terry Walker was kind of on the run all night from that really good Warren Central defensive line. They just could not get anything jump-started on offense. The defense actually settled in and played relatively well after that tough start, but 3 safeties tonight for Warren Central. I don't know if I've ever seen that in a game I've covered. So 3 safeties tonight. They just another dominant performance. And, Warren's not going to shut out every team, I don't think, this year. I mean, at this point, who knows? But that's obviously very unlikely. They'll play Ben Davis next week at home, and then at Pike, and then a really tough closing stretch with Lawrence North, Carmel, and Cathedral. So those 3 games all will be very challenging. Lawrence North Warren right now looks like a great matchup of offense versus defense, really in that one. So that'll be fun. So again, Warren wins the game I covered, 35-0. Really not any type of game. I thought it'd be a little bit more of a challenge than that. It turned out not to be. Another really good small school game tonight. Western Boone 21-17 over Tri-West tonight. Western Boone came back with 14 points in the fourth quarter. Brandon Potter, big touchdown pass at the end of that game to Marcus Fortner, and Western Boone wins that one 21-17. Really good win for Western Boone. New Pal all over Mount Vernon. That was 56-8. New Pal led 49-0 at halftime. So not even a challenge there. Newly ranked number one Plainfield in 5A beats Perry Meridian 35-12. That game was closer at halftime. It was 14-6 at halftime. Thought Perry might give them a challenge, and they did for at least for a half. Cathedral rolls 31-7 over rival Chittard. That game was 14-7 at halftime. Cathedral shuts out the Trojans and ends their 24-game winning streak in that one. So another good win. Cathedral was coming off a tough loss last week to St. X out of Cincinnati, lost in the final seconds, so they're able to come back and get a big one tonight in week 4. Lawrence North, like I mentioned, their offense really is cranked up. They beat North Central tonight 62-10. Blowout win tonight for Lawrence North. Greenwood beat Mooresville 40-27. Greenwood, they've been playing well. That Mooresville team has really struggled since the opener. That's 1-3 now for Mooresville. You haven't really seen them struggle like that in a while as far as through the first 4 games of the year. Lapel got a big win. Thought that game would be a lot closer. Devin Craig had 5 touchdown passes. Lapel beats Indian Creek 42-12 tonight. So thought that would be a tighter game than that. Greenfield Central, a good win over Pendleton Heights, 28-14. Louisville Trinity beats Carmel 35-23. So last week Trinity lost to Center Grove. This week they're able to come back and beat a very good Carmel team. That game was 21-13 at halftime. So Trinity able to kind of pull away in the second half and beat Carmel tonight. Again, 35-23. Some of the other scores: Beech Grove beats Acina 26-14. Like I said, man, Brebeuf 69-62 over Guerin. That is just unbelievable game tonight. Brownsburg beat Avon 45-15. That game was close for a large chunk of that game, but Brownsburg able to pull away and win 45-15 in that one. So again, Columbus North beat Roncalli 14-0 tonight. So Columbus North proving they're a tough team this year in Class 6A. Danville rolls over Hamilton Heights 38-7. Fremont beat Park Tudor 47-29. Greenwood Christian wins again 49-0 over Edinburgh. Heritage Christian over Eastern Hancock. Wow, that's another wild score, 63-33. Heritage Christian beats Eastern Hancock. Let's see, Lebanon 42, North Montgomery 0. Lutheran 49, Covenant Christian 8. So Lutheran bounces back from the loss last week. Another wild game. I'm interested to hear more about this. Martinsville 39, Decatur Central 38. So that is a comeback from, I'm not sure what. Decatur Central was winning that game, I know, at some point earlier tonight. And Martinsville comes back and wins that 39-38. So big win for the Artesians. Another big one here. Monrovia beat Triton Central tonight 35-21. I believe Monrovia had over 300 rushing yards in that game. Newcastle beat Shelbyville 28-7. Pike a big win over Southport 53-7. Speedway over Ritter in overtime 29-23. Tech beats Tindley 21-6. Let's see, Western Boone, I mentioned that one. Westfield 38-18 over Noblesville. And Whiteland beats Franklin 27-14. And then Zionsville beats Franklin Central 35-21. So I think that's about it from tonight. Again, week 4 of the high school football season. If you want to check everything out, indystar.com, check. We got the roundup. We got a lot of stuff there, highlights, and a lot more. So, check that out. Again, my game was 35-0 Warren over LC. Warren, again, has not allowed a point yet this season. The offense played better tonight. Still, probably some work to do on that side of the ball. I thought the passing game looked better. They were able to run at times and then got big plays out of the special teams. And, of course, that defense is just really good. I mean, there's so many different areas where they are good, but it's just you can't hardly get anything going against them. So I'll be curious to see how all that plays out when the schedule gets even tougher. But that'll do it for tonight. Thanks for listening to my thoughts. And, again, we'll see you out at a football game soon.